Welcome to Hackless Talk, the podcast of the hottest blockchain news, market insights, and expert opinions from Web3 professionals, brought to you by Hackless. I'm your host, Eugene, aka Crypto MC, and I'm here today with Nikita Zalesov. He's the Chief Marketing Officer of CapsCoin, and CapsCoin is an NFT gaming platform that allows you to collect NFT cards, caps, and play to earn. And our goal today is to discuss the current state of affairs in play to earn or blockchain gaming. It seems that it's not so brilliant like they describe the situation for now, but this is the story of our podcast. So Nikita, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, Eugene. Yeah, happy to be here with you guys.
Amazing. First of all, as traditional, let's start with your personal story for our listeners to know who you are and what you do in the blockchain space. How did you get in the blockchain space, and how did you become the CMO of a CapsCoin?
It was 2016, as I remember, and I started with OTC. It was time when it was difficult to get any kind of crypto because it wasn't so widespread. And there was a lot of people who were searching how to buy, how to sell, how to buy, how to sell. And from all of these people, 95% of them were just, the guys who want to earn anything from these deals. And I was one of them. And after that, I spent maybe a year working like this to complete the deals. Yeah. And then I came to the company that was working on the ICO and help these companies to grow, to fundraise with marketing. So we was like the incubator for the ICO companies. Yeah. And after that, I worked on the mining pool as CMO. And after that, it was crypto exchange. Yeah. So, and now we're working on the gamify play to earn space with NFTs. So it was a long journey, and it was a very, a lot of stories how it was like on bear market and on bullish market. So even if today, if it's not looks so good, it's not a problem. Just take time, all will be good.
Definitely. It was awesome to join the crypto industry in 2016 or 17. It means that you and I also joined crypto industry in 2017. It means that we saw the major state of evolution of crypto, like the vast majority never saw, because we knew what is bull market, bear market was a different situation. We saw the ICO hype. We didn't we lived in the times where even were not such a thing like DeFi or play to earn at all. So we just had an ICO abbreviation and hype and buying and a lot of centralized exchange. That was the situation in the summit. So this was a past. And now we have moved a lot forward, and now we're talking about what's going on. For now, for the continue, let's us know more about what is CapsCoin in details.
Oh, CapsCoin is the whole ecosystem about gaming, because it's not just play to earn or NFT platform. We are more than just the Steam where you can find the list of games. We're building the new direction for this market because it has a lot of problems, and we have expertise both in gaming industry and in crypto. So we see these problems. They are really it's a long time for this market, how it shows what's really going on, what's valuable, what's not. So we're really trying to make it valuable both for the players, for the investors, for the developers. What's the real meaning of using blockchain in games? What's the value behind these technologies? What's the meaning of NFT in your hands, in your game? Yeah. So we have answers for these questions, and that's why we build the whole ecosystem to really help game developers get benefits and expand their products on this market.
Well, I hope we will cover all the main issues and main problems of the current stage of the play to earn market as the goal of our podcast today. Let's start with the definition, because a lot of buzzwords have been existed in our space. That's why vast majority of people, they like these buzzwords, but they don't exactly understand often what does it mean. So how do you define blockchain gaming or play to earn, and what are the key differences between this kind of gaming based on blockchain, on play to earn, from traditional Web2 gaming based on free to play or play to win model?
I would say that there's little small things that makes the difference, because if we say basically, if you just issue any kind of tokens, and they even can be not connected with your game really, but you will sell it and tell, oh, it's my blockchain game, I have a game, and these tokens or these NFTs, really they can be not even connected after that. But you should call it like I have a blockchain game. So in real world, it must be the usage of the blockchain, not just to sell tokens. They must have utility in your ecosystem, in your game concept. And from the majority of games, we're just waiting for that to be happened, but it's not. And I would say that there's a difference between just the blockchain game and play to earn, because not all of the blockchain games are play to earn, and not all of the play to earn concept would really use blockchain. Yeah, for example, in classic gaming, the very standard thing is when the project earns from players. Yeah, so it's free to play. It's the most popular way how people could join any game today, no matter if it's mobile app or PC version. Yeah, so any kind of game mostly. Maybe the difference only between when you play games on PCs and consoles, you must pay before to play. Yeah, but even there's free to play options also. So you distribute this content, and players pay to get maybe more of content, some additional levels, additional, I don't know, items, heroes, skins, and so on. Yeah, but you didn't get anything out from these games. But it's like only the official way, because even in my childhood, when, for example, Lineage 2 was very popular, and there wasn't any official way how you could earn from this game. Or I don't know, maybe World of Warcraft, yeah, another well-known MMORPG. Yeah, so nevertheless, there wasn't any official way how you could earn in these games. There was a lot of players who get how to do it, how to, I don't know, make gold or Adena and sell it on the non-official markets, yeah, and earn anything real money from these games. So coming back to the question, can it be like play to earn in any classic game? Yes, really, and it's not needed even to have blockchain there. So blockchain game, for example, I don't know, maybe if it's a real blockchain game with open source, built fully on smart contracts, it can be, for example, lottery game. So it will be fair lottery, yeah, where everybody knows his chances, taxes and so on. So yeah, that's the real blockchain gaming, I think.
Well, at least let's say if we at least have first a sort of gaming mechanic. So we may play a game. Second, we do have a right to own something in the form of NFT officially, not trying to sell something outside the game on the black or dark market. So we're officially having an NFT inside the game. It has value. These are two core features of anything which may be called blockchain or play to earn game. And we play, I'm wondering, what is the economics? How do we earn by playing? Okay, we are playing with gaming items in the form of NFT. How do we earn? Is that regarding the value of these NFT increases while we are playing, or what? How it works?
Yeah, it's a good question, really, because I think mostly not all players really asks question from where this money comes. Yeah, and it's about the legacy, and it's about the history of this play to earn concept. Yeah, and how from where it began. So before that, it was just the DeFi's. That's the story behind. So it's not so much changes when, for example, I don't know, very simple mechanics of farming becomes the game of farmer. Yeah, you just need to click sometimes buttons. That's it. That's all you need to do. That's very simple tasks. And that's the only difference between DeFi and this play to earn game. And coming back to the source of this liquidity, the only source of liquidity is the players, the investors. Yeah, so they don't invest their own money to pay you. You buy the items, you buy tokens or NFTs, no matter. Yeah, and it's only the question for how long period of time with which kind of benefits you can turn them back, and if there will be enough people to pay for this, so you can get it back really. And it's like in every single finance pyramid, the same thing. So it's not so, I don't know, extraordinary new way to earn money by playing. No, it's just the finance pyramids mostly.
Are you trying to say a strange thing that's you want to say that the vast majority of current things which are being called the play or games are coming from decentralized finance, and they are DeFi first, and then comes gamification. That's why we do have a term GameFi or gamification of finance. So DeFi mechanics are the core, the goal to involve more users into DeFi mechanics by gamification. Are you talking about this kind of problem?
Yeah, true, definitely. That's the main point. And I would say, even if you look on majority of the GameFi projects that are starting right now, on the few months before, yeah, you would see that they mostly do the same thing before the official start of the whole game. If they really would have a game, they start all these very simple things like farming, staking, LP pools, and so on. That's the part of the game. So you don't do anything, you don't play, but you already like a player. Yeah, so even that comes to the point. So the main thing about this play to earn mechanics is just that you invest some kind of a money and you have a plan what time it would take for you, and what type of tasks you must complete to get them back. That's it. And what's the rate? It depends on, I don't know, maybe what's the price of the token, what's the returnings, from which actions you must take, yeah, to complete it, and so on. And it's on the very beginning, usually the rates are higher than later. So you must be the one who will get the highest rates at the very beginning. And the game concept is not really valuable much, because this type of audience even don't care as much about this game. They really cares about earnings. And if we look back, the first games, as it said, it was games. For example, CryptoKitties, it was rather popular. They get a lot of hype. Yeah, and I don't know, maybe this collection and breeding or minting, or any other word how you can combine NFTs to get another one, is the very popular game, but I don't see any kind of such game popular without crypto. Yeah, so these game concepts looks really weak. And if you find the top, I don't know, 100 of play to earn games and just compare their game concept from the top 100 games from App Store, you would find a big difference. Yeah, replayability of these games is rather poor. And if we just turn off any earnings there, I bet you that there will be no players. So okay. Yeah, DeFi's mechanics and the question of how much I could get just to give you any piece of money and where I could get them back, that's the only question.
I come to a conclusion that we have to distinctly separate the all we call the gamification of DeFi or GameFi, and where money comes first, DeFi mechanics come first, and the game doesn't matter at all, from true gaming, where gaming comes first. This is like sort of conceptual contradiction or conflict, but this is a young stage of the development of the market. We should not criticize it. I think we need to deep dive in the details how it works, and this is the goal of our talk today, to uncover all the problems which are led from this current stage of mixing DeFi and earning mechanics with gaming and really emotional playing, where emotions matter, not money. Okay, how would you describe the main problems which are flowing away from this current stage of sort of play to earn, like we described? Now, what are the problems? First of all, the players do not play for gain, they're playing for money. It looks like a financial pyramid, you say. What else? So let's describe it again. The main problems of the current stage of the play to earn.
The second weak point comes from the first point. Yeah, because of the audience that just wants to get money. This audience don't belong to this project really. It's just, you rent them for some period of time while your rates of earnings are higher than on other projects. So when the audience grows and the rates falls down, it comes on the opposite side. They can compare your offer with the other offers. And if it's not the highest rates, they just change you on the other guys who have high rates right now. So it flows, this liquidity flows on the market from one game to another game while they can get the highest rates. That's it. So it's the question of, can you count on them as a business? Yeah, if you already paid for that audience, for these players, and you count that they could bring you money, this liquidity you could use in your business. So you could not, because it's like when you get success and your audience really grows, that fact brings you down, because this audience would lower the rates of earnings for everybody, and it turns into that this audience would leave you and go to another project when they have the highest rates. And that's a problem, really. How you can build long-term relationships for the guys who don't care about your product, they care about the rates of earnings. That's it. Second point is about your project really don't have any kind of income besides just the players who buy any kind of NFT and they just want to get back their money. Yeah, so you can balance the income and outcome in long term. It's not even question of it's very popular thing that like any kind of project today counts on these deflation mechanics like staking, farming, and so on. But it's just you can prolong a bit this moment when your money will definitely ends, and it ruins all the economy. It ruins all the performance on token. And I don't know, guys. I think most of you know Stepan, for example. It's also called games, yeah. So they got a lot of problems with that. Yeah, and I think we can discuss more problems today. Just not only about the economy models and the sources of value and liquidity, is the questions about the whole concept, where you can get the money to pay them. If they don't pay you, so there's no money to pay them. That's it. And your token falls, and it's much bigger quantity of money you need to perform your token when it rises with hype, and you need much more money to stabilize, yeah, and to prevent the fall down. So the third thing I would say is about the question of stability. Right, the project mostly don't look for the long term. They just want to get money from you, and that's not a question of the problem of the business. It's the question of investor. Do they have the real plan to make it, or do they want just to steal your money? And that's it. That's the ordinary question for any kind of crypto project. And there's a lot of scam in games, that's for sure, because a lot of these people get this idea that before that before the hype, before that, gamify hype was the hype of NFTs, and it was easy to sell any kind of, I don't know, monkey, kitty, anything else. Just, you make these images and sell your collection. But now you need to get more utility for your NFT. And now it's popular to make, it's like gamify collection. You have some kind of game, but no matter of that, it's just, the letter. It's just a story behind that you have the game, but it's not. They just want to sell you this collection and that's it.
Amazing. You have anticipated my last question, my next question. Does it mean that play to earn, we may consider play to earn just the next stage of evolution of NFT markets, where it becomes harder and harder to sell NFT as a sort of JPEG and easier to sell NFT as a game item, which may be used for some period of time as a playing gaming item. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct. Because look, even if we talk about CryptoKitties, there's a lot of common projects, and these games, if we could call them games, are just the copies. Yeah, and so the same thing was with these NFT collections. I don't know how much collections of Bored Apes we have today, maybe hundreds, already minted. And all these guys just selling images. And it's like when the market was on the very beginning, it was not a big problem, But when you have such big number of common things, you need to get something new, And this was the answer for this question: how we could sell the same thing and not doing much to make it fast. So usually they spend just 1 month, to make the sale of the collection. It's the real thing. So the guys who selling collections eventually, they just do it every month. So, and they make it like gamify projects right now. It's just a fake, but it's the real things how it's happening right now. Before that, they not even making it like gamify. It was just the collections of NFT. So it's not so difficult to make, and it's just like what we have today. You must make it like you have a game, or you have a plan to make a game. That's it.
Okay, so to understand that we should not consider the current situation of play to earn like sort of true blockchain gaming. We should consider it a gamified DeFi, and all these developers who develop such an play to earn games are actually, they are DeFi Americans, and they compete for DeFi users actually, not for Web2 gaming users. Okay, got you. But if so, how would you describe the true blockchain game? How the real true blockchain game concentrated on gaming, on emotional, not on money, should be looking like?
Oh, that's an excellent question. That's really the question that we're trying to answer with our project, with our concept, because the concept of gaming is widespread. Today we have more than 3.5 billion players worldwide. It's a big number. Every second person play games. So the gaming is valuable, even if there's not even have any kind of tokens, NFTs. So where we could get value from using blockchain in games. And the first answer is about how we could expand the game experience, the game scenarios. And for example, today we have a lot of talks about metaverse, how it could really work, what's the meaning of this world, and how we really could connect the very separate things like, I don't know, Counter-Strike and Lineage and Need for Speed or anything else. The very different universes, how we could combine them into one metaverse, really. So the blockchain and NFTs technologies is one of the answer, how we really could unite you to travel into different universes with your hero, with your NFT avatar, and make it possible. Because before that, there wasn't any ecosystem solution for the games to be united. There wasn't any, I don't know, API, any network, how games could connect with each other and make this transparency, interoperability objects that could be used in several games. Yeah. So the first thing is about the usage of this NFT. It's not about earnings, really. It's about how you, for example, could expand even not only cross-game, but in-game concept of what's the object is, how it could expand, how it could upgrade, how it could be used, and how, for example, if you have any kind of your currency, yeah, how it could be used even in this object. And the second thing is about if we use any kind of economy models, how to make them transparent, how to make them trustable, how to gain this trust. Yeah, because the blockchain concept build on trust, build on that is all legal, it's all open source, it have trust, it have regulation, it have all this, you know, all these tools to make it happen really for everybody, so they don't scare about scam, about any kind of, you know, centralized money stolen. So blockchain brings all these meanings that have in the very origin in the white paper of Bitcoin into the gaming space. Yeah, it's not about how you could earn when you put some money into the game. It's about how this game could become the part of this solution and how this solution could help expand the variety of tools that they have for developers and game scenarios and the usage of the game objects for the players. So they both have benefits. And there's, you know, when we talk about earnings, it's like the little thing in the whole concept. And the most audience would play the games without any earnings, that's for sure. But for example, they could, if they spend a lot of time, that for example was my friend that spent years playing the games and spent a lot of money to upgrade these heroes, to buy the very rare things for him. Yeah, but for example, after that, when he grows up, he just left and stopped playing, and that's it. He just, it was a present just for the developers, yeah? But in this case, you have rights to sell your hero and the time that you spend it. That's it. That's, for example, the very simple thing, how you convert your life that you spend, the hours, the emotions that you spend with these games into the money. And for example, or you can convert it and go to another game with this hero, and it would have value. It would not, you know, brings to the end if you're tired of the exact game. So it's about that. It's about what's the real usage of these technologies, how this could expand the game concept and really bring us to the future of gaming.
Well, we've done a lot of insights on today's episode. Now I understand more. By the way, honestly, first time talking to you, I'm saying what's wrong is with play to earn now. And by the way, considering that all our real life is just a game too, how would it better if all the time and resources and money we wasted decades of our life cycle in school, university, and our work, I would be better if it would turn into NFTs and we could bring it together. That's just another philosophical topic for another great talk. I will think about it. Okay, so your answer is go to metaverse. And by the way, you know, I'm reading a couple of metaverse reports from famous VCs now, and they have already invented the term metaverse-fi, and I'm afraid, would they bring all these DeFi, not emotional mechanics, into the metaverse space? Okay, we will see. This is another great subject for talk. But nevertheless, because we are on the Hackless YouTube channel, and Hackless about safety of DeFi smart contracts, and like we have already stated that the vast majority of current play to earn is actually a DeFi GameFi DeFi. So we may honestly talk about DeFi, and when we talk about DeFi, we may talk about safety, smart contracts, and so on and so forth, all that stuff. So first question from my side regarding safety: what should we, what is the current stage of security issues in the GameFi or play to earn space? What should we know about the safety and cybersecurity at all? Not in general, but regarding the play to earn, about having NFT, the safety of NFT, the smart contracts, safety, and so on and so forth. You do understand what I'm asking?
Yeah. I would say that it's horrible. if I say it shortly.
Sounds optimistically. Okay.
Yeah.
Big detail.
Because any kind of, well-known DeFis have a lot of things happen, like to get this trust and to go through this, protocol check, audit, and so they get a lot of attention about the smart contracts, and they all open sources. So they are checked many times, yeah, and all the extraordinary risks. In the case if this really like well-known DeFi project is and it's stable, they get care of it. And most of the play-to-earn games, because they are not, so hard building like DeFi's. They don't even pay attention for the risks of how they could perform if the market goes back or anything else happens with their smart contracts or any kind of exploit or scam. So there's a lot of risks, and every single DeFi's, nevertheless, if it's big or not, sometimes get these risks. And we have a lot of histories when big companies, there was stolen lots of money, millions of dollars. So in this market, they are not so, hardworking about this safety. And it's a very easy point when anything may goes wrong, even with the well-known project, like I already mentioned today with Stepan. They get a lot of problems with these botnets and abusing their game mechanics. So they don't pay attention before, because before they get this problem. So that's the main weak point, because it's not so high level of security on this market, and you must pay attention. They don't have audit and so on before you pay money, even if they have a lot of audience, even if they have a lot of hype. If they don't go through all these stages like DeFi's do before they come and get big money from the top VCs and investors, they don't even do that before that. So, but on the cryptos, on the play to earn, it's the very common thing. They easily get audience because they work like on B2C market, and they can get hype and a lot of money just for the very weak from the technical side project.
Well, I was thinking now that if while using a famous DeFi service, we may be sure that it was certified, it has been certified by or audited by the famous audit company, and this pattern should be applied to and must be applied to any play to earn, because like we stated before, this play to earn is a sort of actually DeFi, put it into the gamification. Is it possible for now to check is any play to earn game we want to play now, is it audited? Is it certified by the famous smart contract auditor? This is discussion correct?
I would say that mostly not, because most of the games doesn't have open source core of these economy models, of this economy, transactions and so on. So you can get the information in public, to check if they're like fair enough or not, and if they have any kind of problems in their economy model, in the smart contracts and so on. That's a big problem, really, because as you mentioned, and that's true, they also take money from people, and these people want to get this money back. So it's like you have investor and you have any kind of service for this investor. But when it's like DeFi, you must be certified, you must go through all these well-known cyber security guys, to check what's going on, to clarify all the little things, that you're fair, that's all legit and all okay, and even you must pay attention for these extraordinary risks that you can't even imagine that they could happen, but they could. Yeah. And in games, it's not so, they don't do much about it. Even just they don't show this open source what to certify. There's nothing to certify it, because it's like the black box, what's going on with the game. Do you have real, do you really earn this much or that? It's just your belief. That's it. And this trust builds not on the certified, it's built on just the hype. Amazing. Oh, they got the top VC. Okay, yeah, I can trust these guys. They won't leave me without money. That's it.
What a hybrid problem we have uncovered in today's episode with the safety and player gaming. Nikita, you totally have destroyed the concept of player gaming in my head. From now, I will be considering them not just a game, but just a decentralized finance, game fights, decentralized finance. And that's an easy to understand, because if you are familiar with DeFi, it's easy to understand what's going on inside this game, considering that this DeFi mechanics first and then gaming second. I'm trying to ask a quite sophisticated technical question. I'm not the tech person. I know you too, but nevertheless, let's try to answer. What are the key requirements to smart contracts which are used in the play to earn game from the security standpoint? Is it possible to answer?
Yeah. I think the main thing is about the rate of return regulation. Yeah, because if they have any kind of weak points in their economy model, and they definitely do have some, that's for sure. If they just a startup, that's the very common thing. You must pay attention. How do they care about these returnings that you could pay for any kind of user? Yeah, because it's the point of exploit. It's the point when any kind of botnet could give extra revenues, and that ruins all the economy. Really, for example, if any kind of botnet could get the revenue like 100K users, so it's like they just missed 100K users payments. Yeah, because they just stole their money in this fact. And these smart contracts must have a lot of things about the main thing about what the transactions, what the rules, what the limits, and what's the validation of this transaction. And in our case, in our ecosystem, we really care about it to build this rules and system of voting and upgrading these rules. Yeah, about the thresholds, about the limits, about how we really could prove that this transaction is legit, and it's all good. So it's all about how do we have rights to check and to verify that every single transaction that we get from the game. Yeah, because in game you could play anything. You can just click one button, but the results of this clicking, the results of the whole gameplay must be limited. The revenue streams must be limited. For example, the time that you can send any kind of transaction also must be limited. So it's all about, the first thing is about limitation. Yeah, and to have these rules and to follow these rules and to see if there are any exploits in these rules, how you can abuse them. Yeah, if you have this type of mechanisms to make a spam or any kind of botnet attack and so on. So it's about how you can, for example, make the bug bounty program to find all these weak points in your game concept and in your smart contracts. Yeah, and only before that, when you pass all these things, when you find all these weak points and give an answer how you can close them, you will be like gaining trust for the people who really cares about where I can put my money in, and if they have a lot of holes in their pockets or not.
Should we have to make a conclusion that it is a bit dangerous to play to earn in the vast majority of current blockchain games, considering taking into account all the major brands? Is it dangerous or not so dangerous?
It's,
from a security standpoint, yeah.
Yeah, from the security point of view, that's really dangerous. If you put any kind of money in this kind of games, I just give them, like, like you invest in I don't know, casino, a lottery, so you can lose them all. That's it. You must be okay with this thought that you can left this money and no turning back, because even if the game not scams, but they just don't care much about these little things, they may be scammed, they may be broke, they may be some kind of abused. Yeah, besides just the rules, these rules also can be broke by the guys who know how to do that. And every single game that gains a lot of attention, a lot of audience, goes through the stages when they get attacked. That's the very common scenario today, every single game. But not all of them revives after that. And this fall down really hurts a lot of people, because it's not a question if the project would close after the attack. Yeah, they even could manage that and close it, the holes, yeah, and continue. But in this fact, a lot of people lost their money. For example, I mentioned this a couple times about Stepan. That was it. So it's still alive. The project looks like legit, yeah, but because of this attack, the investors lost a lot of money. Even I don't know, even in DeFi, all the same thing happening. So about Luna, yeah, I think you all know this history. Yeah, that's it. That's the common thing. A lot of investors lost their money because they don't get the point that it could happen. It really could happen in any kind of story. It could happen, and you have anything to left for your investors in this case or not, if you care about them or not. That's the difference.
Wrapping all this, the good news from all that is we've already had such a programmable economy where digital resources and security have already existed, and we just in the developing stage of all that. So this is the digital economy, permissionless economy. Okay, but not without the problems, but this is a so young stage of the market. Okay, so considering all that, taking all this into account, how do you see the upcoming evolution of such a player in the near future, in upcoming years? What will we see inevitable?
I see the future of any market when the hype goes down, and after that, when it's all turns into some kind of, after the hype living, it all comes to the value, the real value that any kind of this game could bring into market. Because if we're talking about gaming, oh, come on, guys, you compare just your game with any kind of top game from, I don't know, Steam or App Store, and be the valuable player there, and your players would love your game. Yeah, but it's not so easy to build some kind of quality game. Yeah, there's a lot of work, there's years of development. Yeah, so if we're talking about the future of Playtone, I believe that it mostly consists of the real valuable games that have a strong concept, they have great engaged community, that engaged not because they earn tokens or anything else, yeah, because they love this game really. And they have, crypto space makes magic of, the real contact with community, and it's not so usual in gaming space. I think that's another point that crypto space could bring into the gaming market, is that you have the very strong communications with your community, and you can really make it's your like defenders, lovers, and the guys who would really be with you no matter if what's going on with the market, if it's if your token performs well or not. If they really love your game, they will be playing your game, and they will be with you. That's your users, that's your community. Yeah, And the second thing is about that I already mentioned before. Yeah, that's what we are looking for. That's our future vision about how we could really make it like the future of gaming, this metaverse, this kind of, you know, scenarios and technologies that will help us to expand the game scenarios, the game economy models. Yeah, and the fact that you can own anything in the game. It's not just, you know, when you play game, maybe you pay for that or not, and there's nothing left for you. Yeah, so you just pay them, you watch it, you play with it, and that's it. It's ended. Yeah, in this case with NFT, you have your avatar, that's your item. Yeah, and the whole story behind what you go through with your hero also exists. Yeah, also takes into your NFT, and you can do whatever you want with your time, spend it, so it belongs to you also. It's about the whole concept of owning anything in your life and even in gaming. Yeah, so I think in the future, at least, you know, big guys from gaming space would also join these blockchain meanings, these blockchain technologies, but I think it would take some time, because we need some kind of cases besides just, you know, these very stupid things to earn. It's not a gaming, really. That's why they look at it and they, oh, come on, guys, you just want to give us tokens. Yeah, that's not serious.
Sounds
so I
like,
think
yeah,
I think that we need some cases, really good cases with strong concept, with real hard players who would push it to the mass adoption and to the future where we have all these giants from the gaming space who would use these technologies.
Will you recommend, or it sounds like recommendations for all the future developers of a future blockchain gaming? Please, guys, do not build another bet, play to earn game, do not pollute or make the ecosystem more dirty with your game fight DeFi play to earn game, because this is not the way we should be developing into that direction. And what will be your recommendations, Nikita, for future players? I know that this is hard to onboard players from Web 2 games to Web 3, because a lot of stuff with crypto wallets and blockchains, so for it's very hard to another interfaces, and we aren't so young in development. What will be your main recommendations for future play to earn players? How to choose the correct game, play to earn or blockchain game for gaming, for satisfy emotions via gaming, and to why not to earn money by gaming? This is the concept. It's a great concept, but how to choose the right way to deal with all that stuff for gamers?
I think that there's a very simple answer about how can I pick the right game, to play the right game. And yeah. If you would definitely play this game without earning, that's the game, really. Because if you would play this game only in the case of you could earn anything from that, it's not a big deal if it would be this game or another game. Also, yeah, all these classic things about what's the hype, what's the certified this or not, what's the team, what's the partners, VCs, and so on, what their names. So yeah, is it legal or not? It's usually checked, but by the community, by the partners, and so on. So if you common to the things that happening right now and to all this, well-known guys, and it's not so difficult to find any kind of good project. Good, I mean that they really could manage, and they are not scammers. Yeah, so they won't leave you in the nearest future. But talking about the long-term investments, yeah, I will definitely advise you to pick the games that would be like valuable for you as a player, but not as an investor.
Amazing episode, Nikita. Thank you very much for your thoughts. So we have uncovered a lot of hidden stuff I didn't hear before. And I talked to a lot of guys, play to earn guys, and my perception of play to earn gaming realm has drastically changed after this episode. Thank you very much personally from my side to you. And so guys, please do not forget that blockchain gaming or play to earn or whatever you like, it is the realm where you really own items in the form of tokens, and these tokens have value, and this is the unhidden truth, and nobody can hidden. And all the range of issues regarding safety and cybersecurity has been raised while you are dealing with a private digital property. And this is the main conclusion from our episode. And be careful, deep dive, learn, try. And this is one of the simplest way of learning Web3, by playing to earn. Nonetheless, while you are dealing with DeFi or gaming, whatever you like, but nonetheless, you are dealing with the digital property, digital scarce things, and all the security issues are in front of you. Thank you very much, Nikita Zalesov, the CMO of CapsCoin, and Eugene and Prince were with you. Thank you for watching, listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Please ask questions in the comments. Subscribe in a Hackless YouTube channel and press the bell button for not miss the future episodes. And we promise for you that we will get back to you soon with another great episode of the Hackless Talk podcast. Bye-bye.